Hi everybody in YouTube, welcome again to another episode of Wilderness Survival with Rod Biggs. Today I'm going to blow your mind. We have an awesome way to start fires that I guarantee you guys haven't seen, watched, or even probably heard about. Are you ready? Are you sure? Okay. I'm going to take this rusty piece of steel right here and something that our wife carries with them everywhere they go. Guarantee you, you find any woman, I don't care if she's a teenager or, well, she has to be of age, or your wife, a neighbor, somebody, one of those women, I guarantee, are going to have, you guessed it, a tampon. Unfortunately, women have to go through this horrible circumstances once a month for about a week, but guess what? We can benefit from that. As long as they have one of these in their purse or in their vehicle, I can take this and a piece of steel which is old and rusty. You can find it on your car, you can find it in almost any man's tool shop. These two things, guess what? That's right, they equal fire. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. First thing we're going to do is we're going to open up this tampon. Guys, don't practice playing with your women's tampons. This is something that no man should ever have to endure. Alright, we take a tampon. If you notice, that baby's 100% cotton. There's a little coating over it. We're going to open this up. We're going to fluff it out. This little layer here, we're going to go ahead and take that layer off. We're not going to need this layer that's there. We're going to open that up. I'm only going to use about a quarter of this, so I'm going to cut that off. Okay, so now we have cotton. We're going to take this cotton and we're going to open it up and spread it out. So let's gently open this up to little patches here. We're going to open that up, lay that down. We're going to open this one here up and lay it out. Spread out those cotton fibers a little bit. We don't want it as narrow as this, so we're going to spread those out a little bit. And hopefully, even if we have to lay two side by side, we're going to get that to where it's a little open. I'll show you a little bit better close up here in a second. We don't want to tear this totally apart because we need it to be able to hold our rust. So if you can see, I've got this opened up. I'm going to take my rust. As you can see on this piece of metal, there's rust all over it. You can take a knife, you could take something. We're going to scrape the rust off of this and into and onto. I don't want my arm to get in your way. And try this left-handed. Yeah, I'm not left-handed. Scrape that rust off, let it fall down. It can get on your table, that's not going to hurt. Flip this over. And you could probably just knock all this off onto your table and then move it over from there. That should be enough. We're going to set that over there. Let's move this right here. We'll go ahead and put the rest of that rust right here on this board. You can see I have a bunch of rust there. I'm going to just kind of spread that out on my fire roll, and that's probably way too much rust, but we'll get a fire out of it either way. Okay, The next step that we need to do is we're going to roll this up like you would a cigarette. Not that I smoke or ever have, but we roll it up and into a little roll. And you want to get it as tight as you can, but in this step here initially you're not going to be able to get it super tight, but as we roll it we will be able to. So I'm going to take my little bit of extra powder I have there, kind of move it off to the side. Okay, so we end up with a roll that looks like this. In the direction we were rolling that, we're going to take a 2x4, a piece of wood, something that's flat, and we're going to roll this. We're not going to put a lot of pressure on it starting off. We need it to roll. As it gets tighter and tighter, we'll apply a little bit more pressure. And a little bit more pressure, little more pressure, little more pressure. And as you'll notice, as we're putting pressure on it, it's going to roll up really tight and it's going to start to get hard. That's what we want. So let's keep going. As with any fire, you always want to have your tinder bundle close by. And it's been raining and snowing out, so I wasn't able to go outside and get any tinder bundle. So what I did is I used twine. Got a container of twine, sinew twine, and separated it out, made me a little bird's nest. So that may work, we're going to find out. Okay, so now that we got this pretty tight, there's really not a lot of energy exerted at this point. So now once it's tight, we're going to go ahead and start rolling this, and we're going to move it faster and faster. Okay, ready? Just back and forth. No super speed, just medium pressure. You can hear it underneath there. We don't want it to slide, we want it to roll. Yep, I was rolling it the wrong way. Let's try that again. When I picked it up and showed you, I laid it back down in the wrong direction. I wasn't rolling it tighter. It was actually, once I started going, it was coming apart. Okay, now let's go. Start just going back and forth, a little faster, a little bit more pressure. Didn't work. Gonna have to try it again. We're gonna take another tampon, another roll. This is where you got to play with this guy sometimes. The reason that didn't work that time is because I had it was rolling in the wrong direction when I showed it to you, and as I did that, it unrolled it. And you've got to be able to keep that rolling tighter and tighter. You don't want that to roll apart. And if it does roll apart, might as well just start over. These tampons are layered. The cotton is layered down on them. It's not rolled together. It's just laid flat and laid flat and laid flat. So you have to take that piece that you have and open it up and lay it out. About like that. Let's take some more rust. And some of you might be wondering exactly what does a rust do for us. The rust actually provides grit. So It doesn't matter if you're using rust or if you use something that have big flakes or little flakes. All we're doing is getting the rust so we have some grit to be able to work with. I'm going to take that, I'm going to work it together. Put this on the piece of wood. That's what I ended up with, and now we're going to transfer that to my fire roll. You can also get you something else that has rust on it, like I've got a couple of pieces here. Surprisingly, I don't have a lot of rusty tools. You can take a large piece of sheet metal like this, sit it on there like that, and just work the rust off it. I probably have more rust going in the air than I do on my project. But you understand, you get the point. I've tried this type of a fire roll using lots of different kinds of material. You can use hardwood ash. I've done it with using a baking soda or a baking powder. It'll work. The key is roll it up and get a lot of friction in there as you're rolling that back and forth. The friction is what causes that cotton to heat up, and as that cotton heats up, it will make an ember. As you can see, we have smoke coming off there. Tear that apart just really gently. Let that keep smoldering. Now is when you do not want to be in a hurry. You want to let that cook, let the air get to it, and let that really start to burn on the inside. You can see the embers there. If I blow on it, you can see it really burning good, the smoke. Now, I don't like to use both of these at one time. I'll set one to the side. I'll sit over here so you can see it. The other one, I kind of like to just fan it a little bit and let it burn. You can see how it's all getting black now. I'm going to blow on it for you. Okay, now we're going to take that, put it in our tinder bundle, and we're just going to wave this tinder bundle. Let the oxygen do its course. One of the problems you can run into if you start blowing on it with your breath out of your mouth is your breath has oxygen in it, or not oxygen, it has moisture in it. And you don't want that moisture to put your ember out. So just naturally let it blow back and forth.